Start of a new thing. So far my channel's been mostly about my caving trips. Unfortunately, I haven't been caving a whole lot lately. Hoping to do some more later this year when the snow starts to melt. We've had an awful lot of snow in the mountains, making it pretty difficult to get to any cave. But for the moment, I'm starting to get into shape. A few possibilities this year might be, I'm pondering of running another ultra marathon. Last year I ran the Grand Canyon from rim to rim, so about a 50-mile run. That was a pretty interesting adventure. Thinking that I won't be able to reproduce that, as the Grand Canyon will be, the trails will be closed this fall. However, I'm pondering finding another ultra marathon sort of thing to do. Anyway, so in light of that, I'm off for a 15-mile run this morning. So might as well get to it. And off we go. So today is an interesting day for me because this is the first time I've run 6 days in a single week. Gosh, I don't know for how long, maybe like 4 or 5 years. Last year when I was training for the Grand Canyon, I was running about 4 times a week, getting a couple of days in a row and then a rest day, then a couple more days and a couple of rest days. And it worked pretty good. But those runs sometimes are very long. Towards the end of the training cycle, my short easy run was 12 miles and take a couple of hours. Anyway, I'm gonna try a little bit different and see if, basically still on a I guess the idea is, though I might be running 5 to 6 times a week, only a couple of those days during the week will be more difficult runs, such as, a tempo run or a hill run, and try to keep the other runs a little bit slower and use them as kind of recovery. We'll see how that goes. 1 week down so far. Run about 25 miles this week so far, which is pretty good. After today, it'll probably be closer to 40, depending on how this run goes. So anyway, it's kind of an enjoyable morning, beautiful morning actually. Maybe that's one of the reasons I started running so often this week. The weather's just been great, sunny most of the week. That's pretty nice after a spring of storms about every other day. Plan on the course I'm running is I'll head up to a canyon called Green Canyon, and there's a trail that follows an ancient lake that used to be in this region called Lake Bonneville. So the trail is aptly called the Bonneville Shoreline Trail, and it'll run from Green Canyon into Logan Canyon, and then I'll drop down to another trail that heads up along the Logan River. Should be a great run.
Lap 4, 11:22.
Okay, so Finally got off the pavement. Now I'm on a trail, and what a beautiful morning it is. And take a look at that sunrise, and it's just a wonderful place to be. So here I am on this nice gravel trail that just heads off onto the horizon, and just in some great scenery and great places. But, one of the things I've been kind of pondering is recently I heard this philosophy that I kind of want to comment on. You know, a guy, I don't remember what his name was, maybe I'll look it up and put it down below, but he's trying to live forever, and that's great and wonderful. But as I was listening to him talk, there was a bit of philosophy that he was speaking that I thought was really dangerous, and that is the idea that the only moral concept, maybe he didn't say it the only moral concept, but that the ruling reason for life is to not die. And that just seems really dangerous. Really dangerous. I mean, I see what he's getting. Each of us has this innate desire to keep living, and that is true. But I would also suggest that the idea of not dying has problems. The first problem is that it's basically based on fear. The fear of death. And when you live your life on fear, it just prevents you from doing so many things. I mean, if our ancestors lived on just the idea of not dying, goodness knows our society would have been stuck. Because so much of what we've done and accomplished in the last 1,000 years or whatever has been on a complete disregard for the idea that you might die. I think of the early European explorers that go out in boats, full well knowing that they're likely going to die. Well, maybe not likely die, but there was a good chance. It wasn't any secret that there was serious diseases and possibility of just running, like other boats, pirates, all that sort of stuff. Going out to sea was just dangerous. But then I think of all the other things that we've done, like space flight. I mean, how dangerous is that? Let's strap yourself to basically a million pounds of explosives and light it off and shoot you up into an environment where there's no air, high radiation, all sorts of terrible things. And yet, people did it. And some of them even died. But yet, they lived life. Their life was grand, something worth living for. And I mean, that's not just in the sense of adventure. I mean, certainly, there's an increased risk when you go out and do something that puts you in the way of danger. I'm not necessarily talking about that, but so much of us not living life is just rooted in fear. Fear of other people, which probably could be also rooted in the fear of death, because being isolated is such a dangerous thing. Fear of change, because we're fearing of being uncomfortable. And so there's a second aspect of this philosophy of not dying, is it's not a very far step to saying my purpose in life is not to die. This person over here, their existence means I'm more likely to die. So their life isn't worth anything to me because their existence might mean I don't have the resources I need to live. And it fosters this kind of false thinking that life is a zero-sum game. And it's not.
someone else succeeding is a wonderful thing, even for your own survival, which is kind of ironic. I think of the idea in the Bible that says that if you lose your life, you shall find it. But if you seek to save your life, you'll lose it. And I think that there's so much to that. When you live your life just focusing about yourself and about saving yourself and about making yourself comfortable, you don't live. You become swallowed up in your own fear, swallowed up in pursuits that are unsatisfying and that don't bring you anything. On the other hand, when you set aside your selfishness and you live a life that's, one, truly try to make yourself the best that you can. And two, you try to help people around you to have a better life. All the good things come to you. A better life, better relationships, better society, a better world. And it starts with an individual. And it starts with you. So that's enough of my pontification. Right now, I'm just going to enjoy this run for a little bit and the wonders of the area, man. It's just a gorgeous place. Anyway, continuing, off I go. flowers. Not sure what they are, but they're sure pretty. Well, just hit halfway. Oh, it's a great place to be. But 7.5 miles out. Today's just for 15. It's kind of hard to turn around. But we've got other things to do today. So, back towards home. Well, just finished the trail part of my run. Now I'm back on the, almost back on the pavement. A little bit of a dirt road and I'll be on the pavement again. But the last 4 miles feel okay. Gone a little 11.25. Nothing fast, but that was kind of the idea. I've already put a lot of load on my body this week. And this was just to be low intensity aerobic activity. Then I'll be looking forward to a good rest tomorrow on Sunday. It'd be great to go to church, see some friends, come closer to God. Well, there's 15 miles. Great day, beautiful day, but gosh, the last couple of miles are hard. But it's done. Now I can just walk the rest of the way up to my house and enjoy a good Saturday.